What is going on, guys? DBG here, and today we are going to be doing another episode of this series where I rate your squads. So I'm going to be rating a bunch of squads on a scale of 1 to 10, as well as giving some tips where I feel necessary. But before we get on to it, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We are currently trying to hit 437,000 subs by the end of Saturday. We're trying to get to the 400 or 246,500 by the end of the day, and we're about 100 off. So again, if you guys are new to the channel and enjoy this content, subscribe. Or if you just want to find out about the MyTEAM game mode, because there is nowhere where you're going to learn more about the game mode than this channel right here. So anyway, now let's get on to it. So the first squad that we have right here is this. I play on current gen and do ISO with my PG. I also use D-Rob, or Randall in a pick and pop. I'm about 270k, willing to spend up to about 100k. Okay, let me have a look at this team right here. So what do you have? You got a 1 Carlos Navarro point guard. You got a 3 Hunter. You got 2 Elite 3&D wings. You've got a very nice power forward and are you the top 2 center in the game. Bench, Quickly's chicken. Quickly is absolutely chicken, so as much as I am not a fan of his height, you got 2 absolutely quality shooting point guards. Duma is solid, Clyde solid. I don't need it enough half range, you don't really need it. I like Toppin, not the highest on Pegasol. I don't think you really need to, obviously. I'm trying to think who you could use that might be a bit of an upgrade. You're on current gen, so I would suggest Lionel Simmons over Clyde if you were on current, or say if you were on next but you're not. With 100k, you're not really making any significant upgrades here. Like, yeah, you can go like Larry over Toppin. You're getting a slight upgrade, but it's nothing. You're not getting anything major from that, so I'd probably say just stick with your team. I'm going to give it like a solid 8. It's a solid team. And to be fair, we have seen very, very few weak teams over the last few weeks. I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. People have kind of like stopped sending in poor teams. Okay, going for JR and on current gen. Normally just ISO at everybody. Okay. So 5 out ISO ball. I mean, it's not a bad team for that. I don't think Jerry Sloan's the best player in the world on current gen. I don't like base 70 on current gen. And he does come with steady, but Toppin I like Wes. I like Wes a lot more in current gen than I like him on next gen. He's really just in my next gen squad because I have a diamond contract on him, and I kind of want to. Like, he'll be basically, if I have find a new center or a new power forward, he'll be replaced because, well, we just have better players. LaMelo, in my opinion, is better. I like your centers. Does he have 100k? You've also reached the glitch market twice. Oh no, sorry, once. There's no real players again for the 100. Like, it's crazy is that if you've got a lot of really good free cards with 100k, 100k to MT doesn't get you far. Like, maybe replacing I'd replace Toppin with Sealy. I'd replace Toppin with Malik Sealy. Just, I think Malik Sealy's better. Although Toppin is like completely free and you still get your AKMT, but other than that, like, I really like your point guards. And a nice team. So I'm gonna give you a similar level to the last team. I'm gonna give you an 8. And if you get J.R. Smith, obviously he's replacing quickly and you're golden. Alright, no money spent current gen. Like the 5-out, run your offense through Grant using bursts and shooting snatchbacks. Also shoot 3s other players, working on evoing Mel. Won't get rid of Levine because he's your favorite player in green every shot with him. Yeah, I like Levine. Okay. You got 750k. There is no reason to have Ben Simmons in over Chris Webber. It does not appear you have Hondo locked in, so you can still get a decent amount of MT if you sell Ben Simmons. But Webber is a million times better. Center, I would say maybe replace Powell. Powell's fine. Power's fine. The one person you really need to upgrade is Simmons. Because Weber is just a significant upgrade on Simmons. Hill's the best point guard in the game. Weber's probably... On current gen, I mean, he's probably number 3 after Hill and Luka. And I reckon Kobe maybe number 4. Kobe in that kind of Hill, Luka. So not Hill, Luka range. Hill's a tier of his own. Kobe's in the like Luka Weber range. So I would put Weber in there. I really like Wiggins. So I'm not going to tell you to get rid of him. He's fun. Levine, obviously, if Levine's your favorite player, keep him. Do not upgrade. It's one of the biggest wastes of MT in this game. Your power forwards are fine. No need to upgrade them. Like I prefer Duma to Obi Toppin, but he's not objectively better. Like it's one of those ones where players will prefer. Like some players will prefer Duma, some players will prefer Toppin. You can't say one card is objectively better than the other. It's not like, say, for example, Kawhi Leonard versus like Lionel Simmons, because they're probably just a better version of Simmons. So Kawhi is objectively better. There's no opinion there. But yeah, Clyde Drexler, pretty decent. I like the team. Again, like an 8.5 out of 10. Like these are all good teams. We've seen no exceptional ones. Next gen, nobody spent run 5 out like the 3 unkicked shooters. Have it 115 KMT to keep up with and grind to level 40. Okay. Sell Magic Johnson. He is not it at center on next gen. Especially with LaMelo beside him. Trust me, I've tried to use Magic. I have Magic. I don't think he's good. I paid 60k for my Magic. He's really not good. Like, he is only worth that 15k. I'm telling you, he moves. But that's about it. Like, if you want to run him as your point guard with a bunch of guys around him, then fine. But otherwise, I don't rate that card. Frank is great. Bowen's great. Toppin's really nice on this gen. LaMelo's fantastic. But I would sell Magic and... Just go shooting center. Get yourself like a Sabonis. Heck, get yourself Maxi Kleber. He's going to do a better job than Magic. Magic with that 70 vertical is not getting any boards. Like Julius Randle as center, I'm very iffy on. But he is free, and I would not suggest you to get rid of LaMelo Ball. AK is God tier. Millsap's God tier. Bradley Beal. A lot of you guys might be saying, why have I not said to get rid of Bradley Beal? Because he's small. You do not... I have been cooked by that Bradley Beal so many times, and I've seen so many people cook with him. I was talking to Fat Boz. Fat Boz is the only person to have beaten me on next gen in like the last probably 4 or 5 weeks, because I have in Unlimited because I haven't played much of it. Fat Boz was saying Bradley Beal was like his best player when he was going on the run for Millsap, and Beal cooked me. Beal absolutely cooked me. He barely misses. He's like smaller Michael Red, but his release is better because he's smaller. He plays in-game almost exactly like I've experienced with Michael Red. He's got the Pro 3 behind the back. Like if Bradley Beal was 6'5", like he used to be in other years in 2K, this would be one of the best 2 guards in the game on next gen. He would be better Jerry Sloan. And obviously Weber, Frank, great. So since it's a next gen team, I don't like the lack of height. Complete lack of height. So I'm going to give it an 8.7, but offensively this team is absolutely elite. Offensively it is incredible. Alright, I'm a pro-am guard. I put LaMelo on the opposing team's point guard and Weber on the power forward. 5 out with Melo or Weber. Bagley and Dino are badged out. Have about 20k in auctions on current gen. Absolutely love the bids. Okay, perfect. Okay, so you're a pro-am guard and you're not running not Jose Calderon, Juan Carlos Navarro. Are you really a pro-am guard? Are you really a pro-am guard if you're not running Juan Carlos Navarro? And you're 5 out on current gen? We all know pro-am guards will dance around screens. They will speed glitch, go into every sort of screen, and they will play one style and it's 3 hunt. Interesting tactic for a pro-am guard. Is this Penny Hathaway in disguise? 5 out Harry Hurst balling out at point guard in the EU? Are you Penny Hathaway? If not, I've never seen a pro-am guard play 5 out on current gen. But, yeah, so we got Weber, Malik Sealy, Clyde, Drexler, LaMelo, and Bagley. Dino on the bench is an interesting one. He's a little bit slight, but if you can make that work, he's good. Sean Elliott's fantastic. Quickly, he's really, really good as well. LaMelo's probably the best offensive player in the starting lineup. I mean, it's like a 7.5 KMT, but it's a good budget team. Players that you can't really improve because, again, like putting in like a Wiggins or something for your whole MT, it's not worth it. Like Magic over Bagley, you can maybe argue, but I still don't think Magic's that great. Keep Bagley. And that's about it. So I like this team. I don't think you can get much better for the price. So I'm going to give it like a 7.9, but I mean 7.9 for your budget's not bad at all. Does every team have Chris Webber? Does every team, like, can we just get a squad without Chris Webber? Like, I am literally going to, in the middle of the week, or not in the middle of the week, on Sunday, I am going to rate your team. I'm not even going to rate people's teams anymore. I'm just going to rate them based on how unique they are. Or how fun they look to play with. Because every single player has Webber. I mean, literally every matchup is probably going to be Webber versus Webber. I like using my John Wall. I'm going to enjoy using Ron Harper. Like, it just seems every matchup is going to be Webber versus Webber. Playing current gen, don't run plays. Okay, trying to find a replacement for Clyde. You got Webber and Magic. You got basically Magic and better Magic as your point guards. You have got DeRozan, Halliburton. Halliburton's good at the 2. I will say that Halliburton's good at the 2. If you can get his release, then he's really good at the 2. Paul Millsap at the 3, Randall at the 4, Hayward at the 5. Hayward's good on current gen. Cat's apparently good on current gen. I mean, if you want to replace Clyde, like maybe Malik Sealy, but that's just preference again. He's not like, I can't say he's for a fact better. I can't say he's objectively better, but subjectively, like, you can maybe argue Malik Sealy or Wiggins over Clyde, but you already have Clyde, so there's no point spending the MT. I'll give this like an 8.5 out of 10. Not dissimilar to teams you see most people out here running, but not a bad team at all. Okay. Current gen, no money spent. Run Hawks freelance and 5 out. Willing to make any changes. Jamal is your favorite card right now. But you'll take any and all suggestions. Wait, that's running Jamal on current gen? Okay, that's an interesting one. That's something different. I wouldn't very much suggest running him on current gen, but you know what? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I would rather see somebody cook. I would rather somebody drop 100 points on me with Jamal Murray than have to come up against somebody like ISOing with D-Rob or 3 hunting with Wilt Chamberlain. Just all these like mad things. Like, I would much rather be cooked by Jamal Murray than anybody else, because at least it's something different. I like Jokic at center. Keldon Johnson's interesting because he is chicken. He is a really good shooter. Bradley Beal's a really good shooter. I think your team lacks a little bit of height off the bench on current gen. I think I would advise maybe like a Malik Sealy to replace one of Beal or Keldon Johnson, whichever one you prefer. Keldon Johnson's small, so is Beal. Toppin at the 4 is fine. Powell at the 5 is fine. The players that I look to upgrade first is probably Toppin and Powell. Like, I mean, as much as you like Jamal Murray, if you are willing to tactically downgrade Murray to Halliburton, you'll have a lot of MT to play around with. And you can use some of that MT to, again, just use it as a rainy day fund when we eventually do get a center that's significantly better than Powell. But for now, your team is fine. And it's a little bit unique because you run through Jamal Murray. So I'm just going to give advice based on what like makes the team better. But if you like using Murray, keep using Murray, and I like to see that. So anyway, this is like an 8 or 7.9. You got a little bit under. For current gen, it's like a 7.9. And just a heads up, 5 is average, so these are all good. On current gen, have a 270k. Run Hawks 2018 and mostly drive to the basket, looking to upgrade bench. All right, so this guy has got, man, that starting lineup. 6'9", 6'10", Millsap, wide body, 6'8", 7'11" wingspan on Meltdown is in Wilt. That is hell. Oh man, that lineup will be hell to play against. That is an incredible, incredible lineup. That's all I'm going to say. That is an incredible starting lineup. The bench. Okay, you got all free cards. You got 264k. I would suggest either getting Halliburton or Sealy, or Simmons if you like Simmons' release, or Duma, whichever one of those guys you prefer. Actually, no, I would. I have to suggest Halliburton for Westbrook. I just have to. Like, I'd be cruel not to suggest replacing your 6'3" point guard on current gen. On next gen, you can get away with it, but on current, I don't think you can. So, I think you definitely need to replace one of those two guards. And I would advise Westbrook probably. I'd replace your two guards, Westbrook with Halliburton and, you know what, Duma. Halliburton, Duma, move Clyde to the 2, Duma at the 3. A little bit of a different suggestion, but man, that starting lineup is like 9.6. You can't get much better than that starting lineup. The bench, I mean, it's pretty decent, so I'm going to give this a 9.4 out of 10 because that starting lineup is hell. Alright, current gen, everybody has a couple more badges. Sean Elliott over Wes with Millsap power forward. And Magic starts, cut Ben Wallace and bench D-Rob. Sorry, this is the most recent photo. Okay, so Magic starts at center. Interesting. Sean Elliott is now in over Wes, and Millsap's moved to power forward. That's interesting. So you replace Wes for Sean Elliott. I can see why you would do that. I'm not entirely against that. I love LaMelo Ball, so I'm not going to suggest anything. I would probably start D-Rob, move Magic to the bench. Because I would start Magic and bench D-Rob because I'd rather play LaMelo Ball with D-Rob than play LaMelo Ball with Magic. Sean Elliott's chicken man. Lionel Simmons, if you like him, keep him. If not, there's always Richard Duma to put in instead. I'm more inclined to play Duma on current gen, Simmons on next gen, because of the steady badge. But Simmons is pretty good on both gens. Weber and Wall, incredible. Brandon Roy, incredible. OG Anunoby, incredible. Like, this is like a 9 out of 10 team. It's a really, really nice team. Is it a perfect team? By no means is the team perfect, but it's very, very good. Alright, so current gen, no money spent. Run Hawks freelance, pick and roll / pop. Everyone is badged. Wonder if I should go for Ron Harper and sell Magic to maximize MT. I mean, it's not a bad idea. It's not a bad tactical downgrade if you can get them. Want to upgrade your backup 2 guard? Have 800k Will Spender and 400k. Love the podcast. Appreciate it. Podcast channel is the Mick channel. Alright, this is the 9.5 type squads we're looking at. You're looking to get a new 2 guard? I mean, Kevin Durant. Simply put, Kevin Durant. I don't know what price he is. You have 400k to work with. I know he's cheaper than that. Kevin freaking Durant. If you can manage to... Because if you can sell Magic, you're probably going to be still on about 500k if you put in Kevin Durant and you get Ron Harper. I'm a fan of Wes. If you like Wes, I like Wes. You're 2 of the 3 best centers in the game if you don't count Giannis. Mel's incredible. Paul George, one of the best cards in the game. Kawhi, great on both ends. Grant Hill, the best point guard in the game. I would tactically downgrade Magic to Weber, or tactically upgrade, because they're basically the same price. So I would do that anyway, but I'm going to say that this is a really, really good team. This is like a 9.5 out of 10, definitely. Like, obviously, next player to upgrade, after you sort out the backup point guard and 2 guard, maybe like Weber, Kevin Durant, something like that, and then sell Magic, and then replace Weber with Ron Harper when you get him. And then maybe after those two, it's probably Wes to replace next. But I mean, your team's fine. Like, it's a case of replacing the players when the right players come out. Like, you don't need, you are in no rush. If you ended this game in August with this team and you were good at the game, you'd be fine. You would win still a lot of games. So it's literally a case of just sitting it out, waiting it out for really good cards to come cheap. And then those guys are, then that's when you look to upgrade. You don't need to rush into anything. You don't necessarily need to buy a card on Friday, depending on what they give. You are perfectly fine. So, yeah, this is a really, really good team. And this is one of those stages where you don't need to panic, and if you end the game with this team, you're fine. Okay, normally drive and kick to open shooters. Almost at Mel Daniels, but I've played over 200 games for Ferry and don't plan on quitting. Trying to figure out how to set up my team, willing to sell or get rid of anyone. Okay. So Mel Daniels for POW is probably what I would do, personally. When you end up getting Mel, I would get rid of those last three guys off the bench. They're costing you 1,800 MT for 5 games, unless you somehow have diamond contracts on them all. Frank Ntilikina, I like. Halliburton, I like your 2 guards. I like your small forwards. I'm not the highest on Kermit Washington. I would play Duma over him, but that's just me. There's no point wasting MT with those 3 guys sitting on the end of your bench. And when you, like, Ferry's the best, so don't worry, like, don't knock over Ferry, but I would probably put in Mel Daniels replacing for Pau Gasol. With this team right here, again, a lot of these teams are looking the same because 2K have given a lot of the really good free cards, and most people's teams now are these free cards surrounded by 1 to 2 expensive players, aka like my own. My own team is almost entirely made out of free cards, and now I've got like Lionel Simmons. And I'm trying to think, who do I even have? I've got D-Rob, Mel Daniels, my centers, and LaMelo Ball, Lionel Simmons, and Zach LaVine, and it's the rest of our free cards. But I like this team. Like, and it's, again, these are all like 8.5 out of 10 teams. Okay, I like the 3 hunt and use Nene as my primary ball handler. Normally use McCollum back up to Kawhi if he doesn't play well, but right now I'm using him instead of Clyde injured, waiting to get rid of everyone except Dennis the Menace. I mean, it's unique. It's funny. Uses Nene as his primary ball handler. I wonder who this guy actually has in his collection. I mean, like, the guy got quickly, so he obviously played triple threat offline. He's got the Sapphire with gold range extender, the limited god himself during the Sapphire limited weeks, Cole Anthony, Mike Conley, the budget goat from NBA 2K17, an injured Clyde Drexler. 10 out of 10. This team is so hilariously bad that I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. Like, an injured Clyde Drexler is one of the best parts out of it. And this Kareem, what even was this Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? Oh no, he was a free lock. Was he a free locker code? I don't even know. Derry Gum is one of the worst cards to ever come from Triple Threat Online. Oh man, I'm telling you, this team, for the lulz, I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. Okay, like the 5-out run my offense through Levine, Grant. Rim running, 300 with Levine, post spins and burst with Grant. Post spin is an underrated move. Willing to get rid of everyone except Levine. Also working Evo Mel. Keep the working grind. Oh, it's the same guy again. This is the guy's actual team. I just realized that. Like, I looked through a bunch and I was like, same name. So, Levine. I would tactically downgrade Levine. Maybe if you're a Bulls fan, but like, the Levines are the same. They're the same. I don't care what anyone says, the Levines are the same. So, Grant Hill, best point guard in the game. Ben, I'd get rid of Ben. Ben for Weber. Like, you could keep the same amount of MT. Keep Zach LaVine, put Weber in, or just run Ron Harper at the point. I actually really like Mel Daniels the 5 topping. I like this team. Again, is it a unique team? No. I think your team, for me anyway, your team where you had Nene as your primary ball handler was a little bit more unique. But this team's a little bit better. So, 8.9 maybe out of 10. Alright. What's the last team? No, there's one more after this. 21 delay next gen. Everyone is badge. Phil Jackson, Kobe, Grinch, and everyone that can hold them, mostly run offense through guards. Okay. I know you may not want to hear this. Kobe is the most overpriced player in the game on next gen. He can't really quick stop. He's okay. He's fine. He's very mid on next gen. He's very good on current gen. He is very mid on next gen. Tyrese Halliburton on next gen is better than Kobe Bryant. And you might not want to hear it, but like, the truth hurts sometimes. Your Mel Daniels Kareem combo might be one of the best combos in the game. Considering the fact you have Michael Jordan in your team, I'm guessing you're running a lot of guys because they're your favorite players. So that is if you want to use Kobe's good enough that he will be fine for the rest of the year. Like, he's good enough that you can use him and he'll be a good point guard. He is also not worth more than 250 KMT and he's like 900 KMT. Michael Jordan, I don't like him that much on next gen either. I would tactically if you tactically downgrade the two of them and got rid of Rose, like, I don't know, like, these guys might be your favorite players. I don't know. And if that's the case, look, if that's how you have fun, stick with it. But like, Frank's better than D Rose. Weber's better than Kobe. Halliburton's better than Kobe. Kevin Durant, best two guard in the game, keep him. Rudy LaRusso, I get it, you might have done the exchange. OG Anunoby's better than Rudy LaRusso. Giannis and Wilt, like, your power forward center combos are the best in the game. Keep the power forward center combos. Do not touch them. Do not touch Andrei Kirilenko. Do not touch Kevin Durant. But like, Anunoby's better than LaRusso. Ntilikina's better than D Rose, and heck, like a Halliburton or anyone is better than Kobe. He's just not great, but at the end of the day, he's still a really, really good squad. So like, this is a 9.6 out of 10. Like, Rudy LaRusso and D Rose stand out like sore thumbs when we're talking about the best players in the game. But I like this team. I like this team. It's nitpicking, but you can make a team that is as good as this on next gen while adding 1 million to your MT total. You can tactically downgrade worth almost 1 million to these guys, and your team's going to stay the same. So last one. Nobody spend ISO and get shooters open easily. Run pick and rolls. Okay, not looking to replace Clay. Alright, you're on current gen. I'm just going to say this. Aaron Baines does not belong near a current gen lineup. I like him on next. He does not belong near a current gen lineup. Alright. Top and Newbury are fine, but Bowen's good. We're getting probably Jaren Jackson Jr. on Friday, so I wouldn't buy 2 centers. I definitely would buy 1. A Maxi Kleba works perfectly. Keeps you on around 200k, and you're just getting ready for your center. Like, yeah, you can buy, if you want a short-term option at the center position, you can go and buy a Dino. If you go and buy a Dino, it's significantly better than Wendell Carter Jr. or Aaron Baines, and he's quite cheap even with silver clamps. That's quite a big upgrade. Your power forwards are fine, 2 really good players. Small forwards are really good as well. Clay and Bowen both really good. Halliburton good. If you're used to Noah's release, that's really good. Like, in reality, look, I can't give, especially with those centers, I can't give this team more than a 5 out of 10. If you put, this is a bang average team, but for its price, it's not bad. Like, I know, like, but you could even say it if you're watching this video, this team is worse than a lot of the other lineups we've seen because it has 2 major weaknesses at the center position. But it is a very, very good team. It is a very, very solid team. It's an average team. It's a solid average team. 5 out of 10. So anyway, yeah, that is pretty much it. That is the video. This is another episode of the series where I rate your squads. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.